So in order to complete these statements, I need to have a really good knowledge of place value. I need to be able to play around with it. I need to be able to make exchanges and see that the value stays the same. So to do this, I need some concrete resources. I'm going to use this square here. Now it's one square. It represents the number 1, but it has been cut into 100 parts. So if this square is 1, then this strip here is a tenth. See, it fits perfectly over one row, and 10 of these would make 1, so it's a tenth. These here are hundredths, because 100 of these would make 1. So one of these would fit in one square. It is 100th, or a 0.01, whereas these are tenths, or a 0.1. So let's have a look at these statements. So 3 tenths and 2 hundredths is the same thing as 2 tenths and a certain amount of hundredths. Now let's see what this is. Now I'm going to make an exchange. Because it says 2 tenths there, I'm going to get rid of one of my tenths and I exchange it with 10 hundredths, because it's exactly the same thing. It has the same value. So this here shows me that 3 tenths and 2 hundredths is the same thing as 2 tenths and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hundredths. So these two have the same value. 3 tenths and 2 hundredths is the same value as 2 tenths and 12 hundredths. So let's look at the second sentence. 14 hundredths and 3 tenths is the same thing as 4 tenths and a certain amount of hundredths. Okay, so what I need to do to make this right, I need 4 tens here. So I'm going to exchange 10 hundredths, get rid of them, and exchange it for 1 tenth. So now I can see that 14 hundredths and 3 tenths is the same thing as 4 tenths and 1, 2, 3, and 4 hundredths. This last one's a little bit different because it hasn't got an equal sign. It's got a smaller than sign. So 5 tenths and 1 hundredth is smaller than 5 tenths and a certain amount of hundredths. Well, if I just add 1 hundredth, that will complete the statement, because 5 tenths and 1 hundredth is smaller than 5 tenths and 2 hundredths. But I could equally put 3 hundredths, 4 hundredths, 5 hundredths, 6 hundredths, anything that's bigger than 1 hundredth. So that's quite an open question there. So check your answers. Were you correct?